Welcome, everybody, to the Retro Horror Academy. My name is Daniel Richardson, and today we're going to be looking at the year in horror 1930. Sort of. So, we're starting the 30s. We just put the 20s to rest, and now we're on to the 30s, and we're on to a golden age in horror films. This is going to be, the decade that the Universal horror film is born, and of course I know the Universal's been doing it before, but we're actually getting monsters, this year, this decade. So yes, Universal will have a big boom in popularity with their horror films, which other studios would then replicate and try to jump on the bandwagon as well, and which would just lead to a nice plethora of horror films for everybody. This is also the decade that we finally get a genre name for our little dark, macabre films. Up until this point, they were just kind of called, dark dramas or, grotesque thrillers or whatever the case. Just add some kind of pronoun to an already existing, genre, and they're like, there you go, that's it right there. However, it's around this time because the censors were always coming down on horror, even before the 30s. We've talked about before how certain films were kind of considered too dark or whatever, and so censors were always kind of having an outcry for these. So a lot of these films would be categorized under H. H stood for horrific. These were horrific films, and basically the little disclaimer with it was these are films that would probably be too scary for children under the age of 16. So they were considered horrific. However, as time would go on, it would get shortened to just straight up horror. So there you have it. Horror finally becomes a genre, and yeah, pretty happy about that. Now, I know I told you guys that we're going to be jumping right into the 30s. Unfortunately, in 1930, there was no horror films of note. We had to wait one more year for Dracula and Frankenstein to drop, as well as a few others. So we'll say that for next time. However, for right now, 1930, we still have to induct somebody into the Horror Hall of Fame. So I have made this selection, or not just me, the entire Retro Horror Academy has made this selection, and in 1930 we are going to induct Benjamin Christensen. Yes, he is the Danish horror actor, director, writer, easily best known for his masterpiece Haxan, witchcraft through the ages. But he also did a movie we covered on this podcast, Blind Justice, which was really good as well. And he would keep going on. I mean, I want to say back in 24, he also did House of Horror as well. And he's also known, not just, outside of, the world of the horror, he also did a movie called Michael, which was actually a big landmark film as far as, like, queer cinema goes, because he plays the main character's lover in that movie, and it was like maybe it wasn't the first Denmark gay movie, but for being 19, 20 whatever, pretty bold back then. So this guy was a trailblazer in more ways than just one. But here at the Retro Horror Academy, we of course will always be gracious for Haxan and of course Blind Justice. So there you have it, Benjamin Christensen. Welcome to the Horror Hall of Fame. And yeah, you totally deserve it, so there you have it. So guys, that is all we have this week. Like I said, I know past couple weeks just been inductions only. Next week we're going to be going to 1931. And of course, we're going to be hitting some big heavyweight horror movies then. So, until then, representing the Retro Horror Academy, my name is Daniel Richardson, and you've been dismissed.